Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, low, low, low.
And folks, on Thursday we got to be a little more romantic with some Romanians. And on Orsha North today, it looks like we get to do that again. Rang, who do we have bringing to the fray?
On the left-hand side in blue, we have Frubblord playing as the 5th Romanian Cavalry Division. We have a Vanguard income, and on the right-hand side, we have King of War playing as 15th Scots with a Flatline income.
So the Scots definitely met them, definitely know them. King of War, very appropriate title to play with the Scots. The Romanians of 5th Cav. I mean, if you look at the thing overall, it says, it's supposed to be an armored division. Kind of a joke on that one. What do they bring?
I got some decent light armored recon vehicles, which I borrowed from a bunch of different countries. The infantry is pretty decent. They got some big league grenadiers, which is nice, and also they have some regular rifle teams with sniper rifles, which is good. Decent anti-tank, good anti-air, good air power, decent artillery. Pretty standard infantry division for the most part, really. I mean, the only tanks you're going to be getting really are like Stugs and some Panzer II Luxes, and not many. You really do not have a lot.
The funny thing I kind of always forget about the Scots in this particular edition of the game on this front is that they are just so heavy on either rifle spam and defense groups. And defense groups are just like, I'm sorry, but they're just not pleasant.
No, that's not that good. Yeah, Scots are essentially just rifle spam and then artillery spam. It's a very straightforward division. And, I mean, it's really how you have to play them, because there's not really much else to it. You don't really have any cool flanking units or crazy fast tanks. It's very slow and steady, and you just have to overwhelm the enemy in numbers.
Which is pretty much all the Scots have done throughout their long military history. That and having the biggest brass cojones ever slung between a man's legs.
That's really rare kilch.
Yeah, exactly. They can't fit pants. Typhoon coming in super early is going to try to go shut down this kind of minor push coming in, but you got to do it. Like you said, there's just very little AT. And that, yeah, one by one, these squats are getting pushed back, buildings are getting shredded, and yes, we had these couple of Churchills here, but all in all, not too much to be super excited about.
Yeah. I think the one problem that's going to face the Scots is really the dealing with the armor. Yes, you got Churchills, but they take forever to get to the front line. And you also have 6-pounders as well, but 6-pounders have been nerfed in this patch. You get a little bit less of them. So, yeah, that's always been a problem with Scots, is just trying to have fire support with your rifle spam, because it's hard to bring that direct fire support nearby. Actually, usually just relate to just having a bunch of artillery guns being your fire support.
By the way, can we talk about the sniper team that has enough guys for a rifle squad and has a Panzerfaust? It's like Fusiliers, but just better. So
yeah, the Romanians really like snipers. It's one thing I've noticed with the divisions so far.
Kind of understandable.
Kind of like the Finns.
They don't really have the manpower to kind of be super profligate, let's say, with the usage of other people's lives. So I can see it. I do love this mortar play. Liking a lot less the fact that the Hangul 129s are pretty awful at hitting their target, but maybe if it's standing still, they'll have more luck. So
yeah, it's actually pretty interesting that the Romanians do have access to 60mm mortars, which I think the only other division that has access to are the Americans. So, and those 60mm mortars are very good at dealing with infantry. Very short range, but really rapid fire rate, and they will make infantry blow up very quickly.
By the way, a lot of fireflies to the north, but no booms. Unfortunately, down to the south, there's two Romanian recon vehicles that were behind enemy lines, getting some really cheeky kills. They go down as the Daimlers come on through, which is not surprising whatsoever. Those AECs are just devastating.
Yeah, they're pretty good at catching other recon vehicles out in the open. There's good old 2-pounders, but yeah, so far Frubblord making a very nice push down south. His infantry, in terms of quality, definitely beats out the just Lee Enfield rifle spam. Yeah, the 15th Scots has. And yeah, really with Scots, I think you need to get a lot of 25-pounders or some off-map artillery to try and counteract. I mean, infantry of quantity, but then they're not quality at all.
Not really. Now, one thing actually I kind of really like about the Romanian units, at least for this particular group, is even the officers have Shreks. I'm so used to seeing like Gammon Bomb. Okay, cool, yeah, whatever. You know, let's throw our Kabolta Ledung at them. Like, no, please. But like Panzer Shrek, I can get behind that. That'll work.
Yeah. I mean, to become an officer in the Romanian army, you have to become proficient with the Panzerschreck. Didn't you know that, Khan?
Dude, suddenly I completely understand. I really, really do. I'm watching now as this, yep, first guy to the south picks up a kill right there. Now, we have to watch out for the rifles with those Piats, but as dismissive as we can be with the Piats, they can still kill if they hit.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice addition for the 15th Scot. I think also the 3rd Canadians as well is having a rifle squad with Piats. I believe you only get like 1 or 2 cards worth. But I think it's definitely needed because you usually have pretty poor anti-tank capabilities of the infantry for the most part. So just having some dude with a 50-50 chance anti-tank weapon is it's better than having none.
True. Very true.
Yeah, the 60mm mortars just continue to wreak havoc.
Exactly. I think the thing we'll probably want to check on is what kind of ammunition do they have right now. Okay, so down to about, what, 30%, 40% overall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Down to 25 right now. Hankel 129 coming back to the north again. I have to see if the Fireflies can nibble a little bit more paint off of that tank. But he keeps moving. Okay, so moving targets, not good for a carpet bomber. Oh, wow.
There we go. Yeah, it's a weird staggering because you can actually miss the target because there's a little bit of an open gap between each bomb.
True. Down to the south, by the way, we're having a prospective breakthrough. Yes, there's a couple of field engineers behind the lines, but not really doing a whole lot, and the Stroke over here could just blow apart every Daimler, everything.
Mm-hmm. He's in a very good position, yeah. And they also got the armored car backing him up. I believe that's the... I think that's the Italian, yeah, it's the Italian one.
With a Breda, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be, maybe, could it be a
No,
capture?
it's Italian.
Oh, okay.
It's this... Because they got like Italian armored cars, they got Czech recon tanks, they got German 222s, just a little bit of everything, you know?
Well, we are seeing that desperate to take out this recon vehicle, which I kind of understand, but this is really weird to me to see such a light division do such an effective push. I'm sure a lot of that can be drawn to the fact that, yes, it's the Scots and not having the AT, but I'm wondering what the long-term kind of viability of this division might be.
Yeah, I think Kings of War really needs to get some of those 6-pounders and Churchills into a good position to try and knock out those thugs, to clear the way for his rifle spam to essentially push through. Because the one thing he's not going to run out is infantry. Oh, he has infantry for days.
Well, Churchill took out a stroke, so that's a small bit of good news right there. But as one dies, I believe 2 more... Oh no, here come the Czechs. Recon tanks coming on in.
Mm-hmm. It was the Panzer 35s. Very odd paint scheme if you look at it. It looks like someone's been scratching it a bunch. It's like... But I believe it's meant to be winter camouflage, but yeah. 5 out of 10.
We're fighting in the middle of July, but yeah, that's cool. It's kind of funny because I think the 38T, I think, was what they called it, right? The P38T?
Yeah, it's the P35T and then the
35,
P38T.
okay.
Yeah, but these are the 35s, which are the older ones.
That makes sense. They do look a little bit less organic or elegant, let's say, than even the 38Ts. Yeah. But all I can think of the Czech tanks, the only thing I can think of that is Company of Heroes 2. They don't happen very often. I think it's only a call-in, but you know, we have to hit our reference to Company of Heroes 2 quota every a couple of months. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, we have to get like at least 2 or 3 references in every month, or otherwise Relic stops giving us money, which is like $5. We used to go and get like a Starbucks coffee, but you know, it's like you only have to make 3 references.
The day we get sponsored by a company, Rang, I will buy you a hat. I don't know what kind of hat I'll buy you, but I want to get maybe.
Could it be a top hat?
You know what? Sure. So that way, when you go to the Canadian Opera, you can wear a top hat.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be very stylish. I'd want a picture of that, though. Churchill's, though, coming up down to the south, and now we have Stogs that are sitting in ambush, which is the perfect place to be if you're a Stog, and the worst place to be if you're not a Stog.
Yeah, especially considering it's just a nice, open bit of road, and there's nowhere else that can be flanked, so that is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Starting to mortar his own troops a little bit, yeah, but the Begley Grenadiers don't care. And it's definitely a very nice card to have with this division. Just, one card of German infantry with a bunch of Sturmgewehrs, you can't really go wrong.
Sure, I'm just watching this last Churchill go down to the south. And yes, there's a 6-pounder back there, but, oh no, okay. I thought we were going to see a gun run at them. Did not quite happen.
Nope.
But there's a cluster bomb to the north, though. And luckily, for those two Churchills, Beaufort was able to kind of push that plane back.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the same thing will be said for this Typhoon.
Yeah, the two Victor 75s just hitting out dead on. But now one of them getting pinned down there by the field engineers a bit.
No, actually, it wasn't the field engineers that did it. It was a bombing run. Yep.
Okay. How the hell did those field engineers even get... they're like all the way down south.
They've been there since the beginning of the match.
Yeah. They're probably very confused about what's going on right now.
They walk out to the open areas like, oh my god, the Romanians!
I thought I was on the Western Front. How did I get in Russia?
It's like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Russian style.
It's the one thing I really do like about this game is, I mean, especially now on SD2, there's so many goddamn countries here. I would never imagine a World War II RTS tactical game like this. Not like a grand strategy, but like, where you're actually like fighting, where you have Romanians versus, Commonwealth.
Well, and that was the thing you and I were talking about just before we started this particular cast, that it's...
Mm-hmm.
They might have made a couple missteps here and there with how they've designed it, but the let's say their desire to be fair to everyone, is just really, really noteworthy.
Yeah, it's really cool that they include a bunch of factions and like fronts from the Second World War, which are never covered in video games. Like,
yes.
I've actually learned quite a lot of history from the Steel Division franchise so far about all these weird units and fronts that have been fought. Because no one ever talks about, the Vistula front, really. Or Black Sunday.
I know to a certain extent that this falls a little bit outside of purview, but again, you and I were talking before we were casting this one here, and we discovered, or rather you discovered and shared with me, the first nation to have a semi-automatic rifle.
Oh yeah, it's Mexicans.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was like one of those clickbait moments where it's not who you think, but just little tiny bits of history here and there. And Churchill OP, by the way, definitely gonna get some disruption, not destruction, but disruption to be sure.
Maybe a little bit of destruction, but mostly disruption.
Yeah, but I think at this point that's what he's desperately just trying to look for overall, and I completely understand that.
Oh, Typhoon coming in. Doesn't do a lot of damage with those bombing runs, but enough to stress out the Vickers for just a wee bit.
It's kind of funny, he says Vickers, and my first thought is always to see a machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of wish that anti-aircraft guns are a little bit more durable against airplanes. Like
they already are. They already get like a 50% bonus.
Okay, let me rephrase then. I feel like it seems a little bit ridiculous that a single gun can not stress out a plane about to attack it. It just seems a little bit... It seems antithetical, Like an anti-tank gun is good at killing tanks. An anti-aircraft gun should not suck completely against planes, but, maybe I'm taking the title perhaps a little bit too far here. I don't know. I can hear by the silence of your voice that you disagree with me, so...
I disagree if you can.
That's totally fine. That is totally fine. Last barrage is coming on in. Looks like it's going to go and try to push again at exactly the same position. So 3 barrages have come down to not a huge amount of effect.
No, they've been pretty sparse. I mean, this next barrage is barely going to hit anything, as those R2s are going to reverse out just on the nick of time, it seems. But, yeah, I mean, usually when you have off-map artillery barrage, it's like you just need to follow up through with a dozen rifle squads, and King of Wargame does not have that.
But we're going to see maybe a resurgent attempt to push in the north. What's worth noting, there were those 2 carpet bombs that kind of came on through, took out both those Churchills in the center, so there's an awful big hole here in the meantime.
Yeah, we're just seeing a constant, slow but steady push here from Frubblord. With all of these, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, but I am going to try.
The Granatieri or the Rosioris?
Rosioris? Sure. There's a lot of them, and they're pushing slowly, but surely.
Do they feel like they maybe should be like a discount Strelky squad?
Let me take a look at the loadout.
Carbines.
Yeah.
The Beretta.
Yeah. Good submachine gun, but yeah, I mean 2 okay machine guns, some decent boat actions. Even though they're using like G43 sprites, but yeah, it's kind of like a trophy squad. Yeah, right. But I have a lot more guys. Oh no, it's a 10-man squad. Never mind.
It is kind of funny to me. They're taking fire from snipers in the middle of the Granatieris.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just sniping right back.
Yeah. Yeah, as Granatieris are really awesome units. Because you can get Trove of them unvetted in A phase, I believe. Which is pretty good having Trove snipers in A phase on, a 10-man squad. They're pretty tough to kill a 10-man sniper team. Even though it's really just one guy with a sniper. Imagine if it was actually 10 guys with sniper rifles.
At that point,
that'd be ridiculous.
Aren't we playing Call of Duty at that point? Like,
yeah. You just see 3 guys coming at you, they're just running, but they're also turning around 360 degrees constantly and randomly firing.
Exactly, because they're trying to prestige up. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
But it is 24, and now that's when the Lukes come on in, because they want to get a little bit of fun in the sun. So, I mean, I wouldn't read too much into this from the Scotch side, or even from the 5th Cav side. It's just a mismatch of division, I think, that really kind of saw this really go so poorly for the King of War. Yeah,
it's... Scotch is one of those divisions where I think it's OP and really, like, BS to play against, because it's this rifle spam, which is one of the things I really hate about SD2 currently, is this infantry spamminess of it. But it doesn't really have much else. If you can knock out the rifles, it's... And if you don't use the off-map efficiently with Scotch, you just kind of falter apart. Because the rifles are really bad.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, oddly enough, the 5th Cav is just excellently placed to beat on rifle squads with all the light vehicles that they have.
Yeah. They're a very good light division.
Exactly. Probably they might even rival some of the material count of the 20th Panzer. I think the 20th... Okay, I realize it's not a perfect example here. I feel like the 20th Panzer is not the lightest of material, but it has a ton of half-tracks.
They beat them out in infantry.
Okay.
For sure. And that's arguably more important than having a bunch of Panzer IVs and 1IS2.
I have complained enough about the Panzer IVs this week. In my mind, the Panzer IV is not getting out of its hole anytime soon. But with that, we are going to see a complete kill over here.
Mm-hmm.
As Frubblord...
Pretty close.
Yes,
kills.
Indeed. I'm surprised by that, actually.
Didn't feel like that. Yeah, I think there's some pretty costly pushes, yeah. But it doesn't matter if you win. But yeah, kills is really... I mean, nothing really, for Scotch in terms of kills for Romanians.
It's not a whole lot to write home about. Again, it's just the carpet bombers killed 2 Churchills on one, and another one killed another Churchill. I mean, those are the big 3 right there.
Yeah, when it was R2s, managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like rifle squads, which is pretty good. But yeah, just I think that match really came down to just a pure infantry fight, right? It's just only the infantry really fighting. The Romanians come out on top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Against more classic, let's say, Soviet push, maybe a little bit less so.
Mm-hmm.
But, anything else there, sir?
Nope.
Well, folks, it's kind of nice to see that we have some new players being brought into the matches here, and hopefully we get to see some more of them in the coming weeks. But for right now, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Ringru. Take it easy.